Hi, this is Dr. Song from the Walla Walla Clinic calling for David. He just needs to give me a call back as soon as possible. It's pretty important that he does. So just please call me back. My number is 509-525-3720. That's 509-525-3720.
We went to the ER. ER knew that we were showing up. The clinic had called them.
Yeah,
They took me back and they did a bunch of labs, redid everything, and they said that, you know, they knew I had something wrong with me, but they didn't know. So they did a bunch of other things.
They just knew his kidneys had shut down.
Yeah, they just knew that my kidneys had shut down.
The first time that I ever found out about his kidney problem was through a text message from my dad. He texted us and told us that David had been admitted and that we should consider maybe, you know, keeping him in his prayers.
April 3rd, around noon, they moved me to ICU because they thought they were going to give me dialysis there. But when they moved me to ICU, they still didn't know what I had, but they thought they knew, but they weren't sure because they didn't have the correct equipment.
The next day I called Alicia on Friday and I said, hey, what's up? Like, do we know anything different? Is he okay? And she goes, no, his kidneys are failed. I said, would you want me to come home? And she said, yes. I would really appreciate it if you could come home, Megan. It would mean a lot. And I just knew right then that I needed to go home to support my brother and his wife, because going through that is a traumatic experience in itself, just to be told that your kidneys have failed. My parents were out of town visiting our other brother in Washington, D.C. at the time, so it was kind of like it was time to be an adult and step up and be there for your family. Once I arrived in Walla Walla, I was in the room when the doctor came in and told David his options.
She told me that she was pretty positive that I had Wagner's. She wasn't positive because the test results were still not in because they have to send them to Spokane. They were looking for somewhere for me to go so I could get treatment. They said Spokane, they said Seattle, they said Portland, and Spokane was the
And the reason why we had to get transferred out was because of the plasmapheresis, because his blood was infected.
He needed to be transported and he needed to be moved. And I will say that being told that you were going to be transported from a place was scary to me, but to David it was relief, because he was finally getting out of there, but place was doing nothing for him.
We got flown in from MedStar to Spokane, took the ambulance to Sacred Heart. We got admitted into ICU right away, talked to all the doctors, and they want to know, you know, what happened and what was going on step by step. And so they started dialysis on him and the plasmapheresis right away.
Once getting to Spokane, I was the only one there with Alicia. Her parents had not made it, my parents were gone. It was just Alicia and I, and the look of him in the hospital bed was probably one of the worst things I've ever experienced to see. He was laying there, he was unconscious for this, but he was getting dialysis and all the other treatments that he needed, and I just remember looking at him and crying and thinking, is my brother going to survive? Is he going to get through this?
Okay, April 5th, they got the test results back and I was officially diagnosed with Wagner's autoimmune disorder. They told me it was going to be there for at least 3 to 4 weeks for treatment. But after taking, 7 blood plasmapheresis and dialysis, after 10 days, they allowed me to go home. You know, going from 21 all the way down to 6 in just 10 days is what they thought was kind of a miracle, so.
But not knowing what he had was the hardest part of the whole process, because it was like, what is wrong with his body to make him feel this way? Because for as long as I've known David, he never was sick, never. He's always been the tough one. He had sinus surgery like 3 years ago, no pain from it, and so to see someone that you truly look up to in that much pain was a challenge, definitely.
Usually they don't see Wagner's in young people because it's usually in someone in their 50s or 60s that have worked in a mine or a mill or has been a heavy smoker. Dr. Kinney was really interested about my case because, I'm not a smoker. I've never worked in a mill. I've never worked in a mine or anything like that. He's still trying to figure out, kind of how I got it. They don't know. They don't know maybe if we did anything with our renovations of our home with asbestos or anything like that, or even when I was a little kid, because a lot of places had asbestos. I'll have Wagner's for the remainder of my life. It's just a matter of keeping it down under control and not letting it flare up and take over my chest like it did.